So this has become the new spot before I start my workout, man. Literally just got done watching um, Terrence Crawford interview on the um, Ebro in the morning. I want to say good job by Julie. I know I'm real critical of Julie. Good job. Keep this man busy in terms of interviews. And two, Julie, make sure he has a backdrop. You know, Andre Ward has a backdrop that you can use as a reference. But to the world, we need to see those 5 belts. Uh, it's just the reality of it. We don't want to see a backdrop that looks like he's a champion. I'm just saying he can put the pictures of his kids. He can do all that in addition to all that, but he needs a backdrop so he can do all these interviews because everybody should be contacting him. Everybody wants to interview with him. He's the hottest dude in these streets right now. You know what I mean? And next week is going to be somebody else because football season is starting this week. So you better get it in before football season and Aaron Rodgers start throwing that pigskin around and whoever else is the hottest dude in the NFL. Two, I was right. I was right. I was right. I was right. I told you Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford made the fight. Al Haymon wanted to go in a different direction. And YouTube just got to understand right is right and wrong is wrong. People say it in so many different ways. They don't say, Fred, you were right. Al Haymon didn't want the fight. That rhyme. That sounded like a 1979 rap. Fred, you was right. Al Haymon didn't want the fight. Oh, man. And moreover than that, YouTube community, YouTube blogosphere. Terrence Crawford is the better fighter. If I can sit here and say I was wrong, first let me back up. Let me back it up. I remember years ago, I've said this so many times, but I think it's important because as a man, not as a black man, as a man, you got to have humility. You have to say you were wrong. You were wrong. You know, I was very critical of Terrence Crawford. Rail Chronicle. I've never deleted my videos. I know a lot of other YouTubers. I've never deleted a video, you know. Oh, I have deleted one. I ain't gonna lie. Kenny Porter asked me to delete a video because when he was training, his titties was jumping up and down. He said, Fred, take that video down, man. I think I lost too much weight too quick, swear to God. But anyways, I think that's the only video I've ever deleted, you know what I mean? But as I digress into what I'm saying, I don't want to be called a liar, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I was very critical of Terrence Crawford. Now, I've only alluded to, go check the videos, man. It's just that I had a big, loud platform, right? You know what I'm saying? And when me and Bomac met in LA, he said, you wearing Terrence Crawford draws. That went super viral. People cut that clip up, put it on Instagram, put it on Twitter. And it was one of the bigger videos of that fight week. You get what I'm saying? And you got to admit when you were wrong. I was wrong and not but. Terrence Crawford is an upstanding man. I was wrong. And Terrence Crawford, you have to present yourself to the people. It's dual-edged swords when you in media, you know, because Terrence Crawford will admit he always walked away from media. Always. When he was younger, he always went in the opposite direction. I give you an even better example. I'm not coming down on, I'm telling you how people can shape their brain about who Terrence Crawford is. After the Postal interview, I asked him, I said, Crawford, I should go to maybe I should repost it at the Postal post-fight press conference in Vegas. I said, Crawford, do you think that you need to do more so people can respect you as a hell of a fighter, so on and so forth? I forget what he said. But after the press conference, he proceeded to run from the media. Media literally chased him. No, spend 10 or 15 minutes talking to the media and walk off. But there was literally 10 to 15 media members going, and I got to the door where he started to run because he went through a special door. He ran. I said, I'm not chasing this. I'm not chasing this dude. You know what I mean? And maybe subconsciously I personalized that. And Terrence Crawford, I tell no lies. I tell no lies. Terrence Crawford will attest to this, that he had 10 or 15 media members chasing him. And what else? And maybe I subconsciously internalized that, and that shaped who Terrence Crawford was to me, right? And maybe, I don't know it to be true, but there was at least before this 4 or 5 instances where I attempted to interview Terrence Crawford because I covered a lot of top rank fights, They do a lot of small shows in LA. Shouldn't say small. StubHub isn't small, but you get what I'm saying. And all these local fights, and that was when Tim Bradley was hot. You know what I mean? That's how Bob Arum and I became good acquaintances. He doesn't call me out the loop, so we're not friends. Because I sat next to him on the bus. Me, Steve Kim, all these guys on the bus together, going up to Indio multiple times. You get what I'm saying? They pick us up in East LA. We park our cars. They drive us there. We come back. True story. Multiple times, you know? And that shaped us. And along with Al Heyman's silent messaging. Oh man, you got to come over here, man, because this is Wakanda. This is if you come over here, you'll be a Black Panther. You get what I'm saying? And so this silent shaping, that goes on, both are accountable. Both parties are accountable. Team Crawford, Team Media, Team Fred. No, fuck. I'm speaking for myself. Team Frederick Hawthorne. You know what I mean? And then something happened in 2018, 2019. Y'all saw it. I woke up and I said, hold up. Al Heyman's a fraud. Because I was leaning on that side, right? And I realized the fighters fall into that role. But when in actuality, it shouldn't be that way. What we saw the past 45, 50 days, well, it wasn't even promoted. I don't think PBC had a promotional budget for this fight. Keep it real with you. You know what I mean? It was dismal. They didn't even do no YouTube commercials for this fight. I think they could have did 1.5. If they did 700,000, I think they could have did 1.2 with a promotional budget. You know, so I think they left some meat on the bone, a lot of meat on the bone. But who am I? You know, it's about the fighters. And when I think Terrence Crawford is in celebration mode, Earl Spence is in get back mode. But I think when they have time to really, really think about their careers, they're going to really, really say, hold up. How did the business of the boxing game manipulate me into having these ideologies, having these beliefs, taking this stance, saying this, you know? And I can honestly say it hoodwinked and bamboozled me. And it's hoodwinking and bamboozling people who disagree with me, because I have no dog in the race now. You know, I still have a great affinity for a section of fighters because I've covered them for so long. And I think I'm obligated to tell them the truth now. You get what I'm saying? I think it's only right, because you don't know until you know. It's like Malcolm X when he left the Nation of Islam. You don't know until you know. You know, it's like, how could you not know? So I think everybody knows now. There's no secret now. Earl Spence says, you ain't got to thank me for making this fight. Earl Spence also said they wanted me to fight Keith Thurman. Who is they? He only has one they in his life. His name is Al Haymon. You get what I'm saying? So Terrence Crawford said he was blackballed. Terrence Crawford said, I respect Earl Spence for winning the fight. He made some concessions that Al Haymon was unrelinquishing to do. And I can tell you from my experiences that I heard with my own ears, Al Haymon intentionally put roadblocks in between Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford from August till December of last year. If I'm lying, I'm flying. I haven't told not one lie in this video. But I'm the, whoever you want to call me. But I guarantee you, my videos in 20 years will be in somebody's documentary. Yeah, yours won't. That's why I said history will prove me correct. Now, as I'm speaking about Terrence Crawford, I didn't know. Like, and we have to share the blame. Even when you don't want to speak to a media outlet, do the interview and hold that media member accountable. I only had one interaction with Terrence Crawford in terms of words, one-on-one. He says, I don't fuck with you. And I thank God he didn't respond to me. I says, I don't fuck with you neither. We're about 7 to 10 feet apart. I've told this story many times, right in that walkway at the MGM at the elevators. Thank you, Jesus. Terrence Crawford didn't respond. Thank you, Terrence. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the one, but I am like a, you know what I mean? Thank God. No, not for his sake, for my sake. I don't want y'all to think, oh, Fred, no. Fred ain't big, bad, nothing. Fred believes in self-defense. Got caught off guard one time, and I'm going to tell you, fighters, if you disagree with me, I'll be at a fight, and I don't know. When Lincoln can sit in the concession stand, can go to the concession stands in the bathroom by himself and or sit still, that's when I'll be going back to fights. And I'll just let you guys know. Feel free to disagree with me, but I'm not fighting no fighter. I got caught off guard one time, and it'll never happen again. Well, I shouldn't say it'll never happen again. I'm going to respond. You know what I mean? I'll just respond in an efficient manner. I'll say that. And but I think that I'm glad. Thank you, Terrence Crawford, for being the gentleman and the scholar and not responding to me, because I can't whoop Terrence Crawford's ass. And moreover than that, man, Terrence Crawford, dog, I honestly respect how you carried this fight, dog. I respect how Earl Spence carried this fight. Y'all know I've never been a thug. Just to make reference, I remember on my live, and many of y'all remember this night, because I was doing millions of views every month during COVID. Everybody was watching Frederick Hawthorne, right? Many people. I don't want to be wrong, because I said I've never lied. So a lot of people, no, millions of people, no, maybe not millions of people. I had millions of views during COVID, right? And they said, Fred, when was the last time you felt like a gangster? I says, because I've never been a gangster. I've never, ever in my life portrayed being a gangster. And I'm in the hood. I'm about to go to the hood right now, because today is the 2nd. My old lady tenants, I knock on the door. How you doing, Mrs. Williams? How you doing, Miss Martha? And they have the money order waiting on me. How you doing, baby? How your sons doing? Oh, life is good. It's hot out here, isn't it? I'm just blessed to be seen and not viewed. You know, that's how the old ladies treat me. You know what I mean? Honestly, fixed income. I respect them. I bring them flowers on Mother's Day. Yeah. Anyways, y'all don't want to hear about that shit. But anyways, y'all said, when was the last time you felt like a gangster, Fred? The chat laughed for 2 shows. Not in that moment, for 2 shows. DB said, when was the last time? I said, probably when 50 Cent came out with his first album. When you driving in the car and you hear that song. I said, that's the only time in my life I've ever felt gangster. You know what I mean? Like that street culture. I've never portrayed that guy. I've always led with intelligence and being a gentleman. I'm a firm believer in self-defense. I own multiple guns. I own pepper spray. I own whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? I own no sticks. I don't know what they call them. I believe in self-defense. I don't believe in putting this fake masculinity out like you're the toughest guy in the world. I really, really don't. And they laughed for 2 or 3 days on the show. And I said all that to say that bravado is corny. That bravado is weak. I've never led with that. And that's what I portray on this platform. I've promoted fatherhood. I've never not told you Dre was Asian. You know what I mean? I've never not told you, there's Lincoln, there's Kennedy. Never not. Never. Unlike some of these people who hide their personal lives, you know what I mean? So anyhow, man, Terrence Crawford, gentleman and a scholar. Earl Spence, gentleman and a scholar. I picked the wrong fighter. There's a rematch clause. I know Earl Spence wanted back bigger than ever. You know what I mean? And this is what I respect about now Terrence Crawford and what I've respected about Earl Spence. I'm going to leave you guys with this, just on the Earl Spence side. Earl, I'm talking to Earl like he's going to watch this video. But there was here's the moment. There's two moments I have with Earl Spence that y'all don't know about. After the Lamont Peterson fight, we were in New York and Brooklyn. Earl Spence didn't have a scar on him, right? And he came down to the hotel lobby area. He was in the hotel. We spoke for about 20 minutes. We've had many interactions, but he longed to talk to me, and I thought that was pretty cool. You know what I mean? I'm just sitting in the lobby waiting to get interviews, and I didn't pick up my camera. And he and I started talking, and then we started talking about cars. I said, "Man, I'm trading in my Bentley for a Tesla, dog." And he said he was getting a Range Rover or something like that. And we just talked about family. Earl will probably remember. He don't forget shit. We talked about family and this, and we talked about family for a long ass time. It was like a 20-minute conversation, and I think he was waiting on some people to go out and do what he do and live his New York life. And I was just sitting in the lobby. How I get those interviews for y'all? I was just sitting in the lobby trying to get interviews, waiting, because you guys know I don't pay for a hotel room Saturday night on the East Coast because the fights end at 1:30 at the Barclay, 2 o'clock. And I always get the 5 a.m., 6 a.m. flight. So I stay in the hotel lobby, sleep. They shake me. Oh, you can't sleep here. Oh, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? So that's typically how I do. And PBC has a shuttle to take people to the airport. So I go to the airport for free. No cap. Too short. I do it all the time. I did it for 10 years. So, and then I wish I would have put my camera up, because this summarizes Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford and their character. We were in, Earl had just got through finish running 4 or 6 miles. He was drenched, soaking wet. It was where they have the rehab. You know, they have that party rehab. We were in that hotel, and I'm sitting at the doorway waiting on a subscriber to give him tickets. Remember, I used to give away tickets to the fight. I gave away tickets to the fight, and I got to keep on telling all these stories as they come, because they will be a part of somebody's history, and someone will add them and make them a part of their lives. So it was a young man from San Francisco, from up north. I don't want to say his name. I remember his name. I'm not going to say his name. And he came down to get some tickets, right? And before he came, Earl Spence saw me sitting in the lobby, and he sat down, drenched wet, soaking wet. Earl may not remember the conversation. I remember the conversation. I wish I would have took out my camera then. I swear to God, but I didn't think about it. You know what I mean? We spoke about everything. And we sat for about an hour, Earl and I, and then Earl wasn't that popular, so only boxing fans knew who he was, and it was early enough that not a lot of people were in the hotel yet. You get what I'm saying? And we was on the opposite side, the back valet of that hotel where they do rehab at. What the fuck? It's a popular hotel. It's right on Paradise, you know? I'm drawing the blank on it, but y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. And so the people came, they took pictures, and Earl still sat we spoke for about 30 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes prior to a subscriber coming to get the tickets to the fight. Because the fight was at I don't know. Y'all know what hotel I'm talking about. And then we proceeded to talk for about an hour, literally an hour. He was drenched and soaking wet, and we talked about life. We talked about this. And this is why I knew he wasn't fighting Keith Thurman. Y'all said, Birdman, you still owe me $50. This is why I can speak in absolutes when it comes to Keith Thurman, Deontay Wilder, Gary Russell. I've spent so much time with them. And I, based off of my collection of informal conversational data, I know who they are. I knew Earl Spence was going to take the Terrence Crawford fight. I knew Al Haymon was in the way of the fight. I knew it. And it all goes back to integrity. We've had maybe 2 or 3 honest, and I visit him at the gym. Earl is a stand-up guy. I don't like the fact that sometimes he puts Al Haymon before him. Nah, fuck that. Talk about your kids, man. Talk about EJ the third. You know what I mean? Al Haymon doesn't deserve that much respect. Just like Bob Arum doesn't deserve that much respect. They are benefactors from your hard work, your talent, your preparation, your sacrifices. They're not, you're a blessing to them. And this is why when real estate agents, you didn't sell my house. I sold it. I paid for the rehab. I painted the house. I put the hardwood floors in. You get what I'm saying? I spent $100,000 worth of concrete repaving this whole fucking property. How you gonna come in and say, I sold? No, you didn't. I did. You're just an employee representing me. I don't deal with agents. I deal with real estate agents a lot, right? So these are the truths. So and those 2 conversations speaks to the character that I could vouch for in terms of Earl Spence being a straightforward, honest guy. On the flip side of that, I didn't have that experience with Terrence Crawford, nor did I want it. I'm not asking for it. Me and Bomac text 2 or 3 times a year. He sends me bullshit motherfucking texts, bragging on himself because I've been on the other side for so long. We haven't texted this year yet, but he will eventually. When he thinks about him, he's like, we kicked your boy's ass, right? How about them draws and panties? You know what I mean? Or was it draws? Something like that. Anyways, but Terrence Crawford, he ran. He didn't sit and give the media the 5 or 10 minutes that they want when you're leaving the DS. You know what I mean? Baby daddies, I don't know if you know what the DS is. You know what I mean? He didn't leave the DS. So he ran. He didn't talk to the media. And then prior to all of this, when I was covering Timothy Bradley, when I was covering Raul Marquez, when I was covering Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford wouldn't do interviews. Terrence Crawford used to wear sweatsuits with braids and shit. I remember this. He don't remember me because I was a nobody. I was writing for the newspaper then. I didn't have a YouTube channel. But Terrence Crawford wouldn't do interviews. So all this built up. You say, oh, this man is, he ain't this, he ain't that. When in actuality, his character parallels Earl Spence. Who would know? I didn't know until the promotion of this fight. You know what I mean? And that's what we got to live and learn. You don't know until you know. And when you're wrong, you got to say you're wrong. Period. End of discussion. I salute Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford. Congratulations. Congratulations. That's the problem when you got multiple points of entry in your house. The kids go through one door, they leave the door open, and you get these motherfucking little flies that be coming in here, man. And tell Jared Hurd I missed, because Jared Hurd had that, I just grabbed and I missed it. Shit. Jared Hurd had that competition where he was jabbing the flies and shit. I just missed. But I did hit one in the gym years during COVID. But as I digress, I didn't get a chance to do it. And it was multiple years. Terrence Crawford can attest to this. I tell no lies in this video. I tell no lies. And so I'm going to hold myself to the fire because that's all I can do. I was wrong. Simply, I was wrong. I can say I was wrong. I can look. I'll probably never talk to Terrence Crawford again a day in my life. If it will, it'll be by accident. You know what I mean? I'll bump into him when I'm 55 years old and I'm sitting front row, when Dre and I are sitting front row at the fight, or Lincoln and I, or all four of us. I can afford for all four of us to sit ringside at the fight. You know what I mean? I'm only being serious, but, congratulations, Terrence Crawford. Congratulations. And lastly, Don't let Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney, listen to me and listen to me carefully. Don't let the media paint y'all as enemies. Don't let them do it. Don't let them do it. It doesn't work. The Floyd Mayweather era is done. It don't work. Be classy, be intelligent, make the fight, talk your ish, but don't alienate the guy that makes you the most money. Don't alienate the guy that defines your career. Don't do it. Don't fall in, because at the end of the day, YouTube channels, YouTube people who run YouTube channels were fans first. They don't have credentials. Many of them didn't go to college and take up journalism or how to write or was an English major, or they didn't go to trade school, or they have no experience in journalism. They have experiences as being a personality. But whatever side you on, don't do it. I'm not leading the charge in that. I'm calling it out. If you choose a side on this and I watch your video, I'm calling you out. Yeah, because if we go down this road again, it's going to take 5 years again of this fake propaganda. That's all. I'm gone, man. Congratulations, Terrence Crawford. Get you a backdrop. It's important. Julie, you're doing a good job. I know I'm critical of you. You're doing a good job. I'm gone. Peace.